the Jewish war, and he admits this, the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the Herodians cooperating with each other, who called the Roman armies into the city to put down the revolt, but they failed. And Josephus used this to say, you see, the Jews' own people invited the foreign armies into the country. No, they didn't. The occupying government, the puppet government, invited the foreign troops into the country. The people were almost across the board against this. What is the opposition literature? We have it here in the Dead Sea Scrolls. We have the time capsule. Sure, it's led by a group of pious Nazarites, people like James, the brother of Jesus, called the Just One because he was so righteous, the Righteous One because he was like a righteous teacher, and other leaders of that kind. And I picture James as the central Zadik, the Righteous One, about which all these groups, more aggressive, more violent, less violent, but all the opposition groups coalesced. A kind of, unfortunately, I hate to say it, Ayatollah, you know, maybe not a rock and roller, but an Ayatollah. Unfortunately, and I don't think he's like bin Laden, because I don't think he's going to plunge planes into buildings, but he is the opposition figure about which all these groups coalesced, and we have the literature here of their messianic movement, which was the popular movement. Yes, and it wasn't just in 70 AD. From the time the Maccabees were destroyed, from 63 BC, when the one group of the Maccabean family holed up in the temple and fought to the end, so that when Pompey's troops came in, and it's in Josephus again, in 63, they stormed the temple, and they couldn't believe that the Jewish priests who were in the temple went about their services and their service to God as if nothing was happening, and the Roman soldiers cut them down on the altar. And Josephus says that even the Romans were amazed at the bravery of the Jews, but he also admits that the most killing was done by the party of the opposite persuasion, the party cooperating with the Romans, the Pharisees. They killed more of the resistors than the Romans did. So, I'm caught in the middle here. We have the Christians, the Pauline Christians on one side, who we now call Christianity. We have the Rabbinic Judaism on the other side, who claim to be the heirs of Phariseeism. Why did Phariseeism reign so strong? Phariseeism, after the fall of the temple and the Bar Kokhba uprising in 132 to 136, was the only form of Judaism the Romans were willing to live with. All these other people they exterminated. That's why we have 40 miles down the road at Masada, the final suicide, probably not only zealots and Sycharian extremists, but people connected here. Nobody resisted Rome, and Rome went after them and exterminated them without mercy. No one who... Let's stop. Pardon me.
Take a short break.
Okay, yeah, right. I hope this is not too much for you guys.
No, it's fascinating.
This is why I'm known, man. This is why I'm the only famous one on this side of the orientation. All the others are the establishment groups that I have to fight against. It's a one-man battle here with Bajan helping me. It's me and Bajan, right? We're doing the samurai thing here.
Bring it to the people. Okay.
Resist.
Are you rolling? Yep.
No one who resisted Rome was allowed to survive. The Romans hunted down everybody, including Masada. They went down to Egypt and found the remnants of the extreme Sicarii group, as Josephus calls them, the assassin or night people. I don't think that's what they were called. No one who resisted Rome could survive. The only groups that did survive were the Pauline Christians, who claim also to be Pharisee to start with, though they portray themselves as being against the Pharisees in the Gospels, and in the figure of their Jesus, as they present him in a Paulinized way, and the Pharisee groups whom the Romans sponsored later as the patriarchs and tax collectors in Palestine. But for instance, in the Talmud, you find that the real founder of Rabbinic Judaism, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, escaped from Jerusalem when it was under siege in 68 in a coffin, followed by his disciples. Well, the Romans pierced it just like they pierced Jesus with their bayonets or their swords, and they didn't get him or anything. And then he went outside the city and had an arrow shot into Vespasian's camp with a message on it: Rabbi Yochanan is the emperor's friend. Rabbi Yochanan is the emperor's friend. He has himself ushered into, the emperor may have been Titus by that point, the Talmud isn't too precise on its history, into Titus or Vespasian's presence, and he then proceeds to proclaim Titus or Vespasian, the world ruler that Jewish scripture said was expected to come out of Palestine. In other words, he, in the most cynical fashion imaginable, applies the most precious prophecy of the Jewish people to the Roman conqueror of the Jewish people and the destroyer of the temple, saying, our prophets greet you. And nothing can be more cynical or, accommodating than that. In return, he gets the school in Yavne. This doesn't make me popular with my Jewish associates, which is why they say I'm stealing the scrolls from Judaism. No, I'm not. I'm giving it back to the real zealot, uncompromising Jews, the ones who were willing to go to the nth degree, who would not accommodate themselves. So the only groups that could survive were the Pauline Christians on the one side, the Pharisaic Jews on the other side, both basically ultimately getting Roman sponsorship, perhaps not right off, but in the course of time. And all these other groups had to go out into the far reaches of the empire. But guess what? They left us this treasure trove, this time capsule behind them. None could come back because they were all exterminated, but they left their documents, and we are the fortunate ones in the 20th and 21st century to have discovered them. And now we can do some real history.